Having a ton of fruit trees is obviously great, but I didn't realize how much food actually goes to waste if you don't prune or trim them every so often. I'm sure we've probably lost somewhere around a third of all the fruit from our trees this year, literally just because they're overgrown. And to be fair, obviously trees are supposed to be tall, like it kind of is their thing. Usually if something's out of reach, you just grab a ladder or just climb the tree if you can. But not always. So today we'll do a little audit of what trees need to be trimmed down so that we're not taking such a big loss next year. Now, it's not always about height. Sometimes stuff just grows outward in a really awkward or even kind of dangerous sort of way. On the other side of that, some trees actually get really weird mold issues if they don't have enough sunlight and airflow going through. You know what, just come with me. We'll do a little walkthrough and I'll show you some examples of what I'm talking about. I don't really know how well you can see, but there's two breadfruits up there that are attached to this branch a little bit lower down. I'm describing it as if you can see exactly which branch I'm pointing to, but we're probably just going to go ahead and take that entire thing down just because it's at such an awkward position being on this hill that there's not really any other way of getting them down. There's also like 3 other ones that I can see higher up in the tree, or 4 even, that are just like pretty much so far close to the top that they're probably just going to rot and fall off eventually, so we're just going to go ahead and leave them. But eventually, once we prune the tree, stuff like this won't happen anymore. Right. Let's see. There they are. Right. Almost couldn't see it from this angle. Also, trying not to get in the middle of any wasp nests. I'm not gonna lie, I do not feel safe here. That could have been worse. Right. Where's the fruit? Lift that over. I'll clean this up later. And these both came down fully intact, so these will probably be part of dinner this week. You know, I wasn't really supposed to do like a demonstration today. This was more supposed to be like an explanation kind of video and me like kind of just going around saying, okay, like what stuff kind of needs to be trimmed, what stuff is fine. But I saw my opportunity, so I was just like, let's just give it a shot. Next time I'm probably going to focus on the stuff that's a lot higher up, but we'll just leave that for now. But yeah, you'll see a recurring theme here. This guava tree basically snapped because it's kind of growing at a really weird angle. To be fair, I'm not actually 100% sure what caused the initial snap, but with this much weight dropping at that angle, there was no way it was going to stay up. The fruit is actually a lot more accessible now though, because these are actually pieces that normally would have been at the top. But obviously we can't just leave it like this. This Ackee tree's got a bit of a similar story to the breadfruit tree. A lot of the stuff is actually growing on this branch that goes way over there, which is above this big drop. So we may just need to cut that whole thing off, which would give this branch here and these ones a lot better of a chance of growing more fruit. Is that 100% certain? Probably not. Is it even a major issue in the first place? Probably not. But why waste food if you don't have to? You might as well try something. Pretty much all but one of our cocoa trees got destroyed by mold this year, which I will show you in a bit, but actually there's 2 other trees that I want to check out first. The next 2 examples will be a lot less likely to put me in the hospital. We are actually going to start with the oranges, because even though that's the one tree, almost fell, even though that's the one tree that technically isn't too tall, a lot of them are still ready. To be honest, I say it's not too tall, but at the same time, we could still have this a bit shorter. The annoying thing is though, this isn't really a proper setup. This is like a painter's pole, like, you know, it extends out and stuff. I don't actually know what this head was supposed to attach to. This is actually for picking fruit. I don't know where the rest of it is, so we're just gonna work with this. It does kind of like hold on, you know, strong enough, so we'll see. That should be good. Sweet. Oh, that one's actually quite close. Oh. Well, close enough. It's annoying, I kind of have to like double check each time that it's sturdy enough. The other half is kind of stuck, so we're gonna have to figure that one out. To be honest, it should be easy enough just to poke it down, as long as it's not too wedged. There we go. That works. It ain't much, but, you know, it does the job, kind of. Oh, come on. Oh. Let's just, let's go ahead and pretend that I was a lot more successful than this. This is what, 2, 4, 6, 8? I guess that's not too bad. For anyone who doesn't know, you might think that I've picked these like super early because they're still green. Oranges over here don't really get like orange. Well, the inside does, but the outside actually stays mostly green with like little bits of yellow. The more unripe ones would actually be a bit more of a darker green than this, and to be fair, I could have actually let these ripen a little bit more, but at this stage where they're at now with like little spots of yellow on them, they are generally pretty sweet. Now with the black currant tree, we've actually got a decent little bit here to pick from, that I should be able to get down, you know, fairly easily. But the thing that annoys me is like, I would say at least 60% of it is still out of reach, like way up at the tops there. You won't be able to see it on camera, but yeah. See, the fact that they ripen unevenly is a bit of a pain as well, because you can see that all of these are, like, pretty much ready to eat. There's some that have gone too far, and then there's some that haven't even started yet. So it's like, what do you even do? I mean, I just kind of pull them all off, like, and just take my losses. Yeah, you take what you can get, I guess. That's good. I remember when I was a kid, I would just sit here and just pick and eat them all the time. And the thing is, they dry out your mouth, actually. They've got like a really weird texture. Anyways. See, all of that way above me is full of them, and I'll never be able to reach it. Did I actually bring any back for anyone else? Maybe. Did I just sit there eating for an undisclosed amount of time? Anyways, moving on. Here's the footage from the cocoa trees down by the river. Somehow the original clip's audio got corrupted, but basically, some kind of weird mold or disease was spreading onto all the pods and destroying them before they even got a chance to reach full maturity. But to be honest, I'm not surprised. The land down there by the river is dense. Like, all the trees and plants down there are like really tightly packed together, and the tall trees create a lot of shade down there. That, plus the insane amounts of rain we've been getting recently, is a pretty solid breeding ground for any kind of disease. To be fair, it actually just started raining a second ago. Hopefully that doesn't keep up. But anyways, yeah, we had like 7 or 8 cocoa trees down there, and they're all like this. Massively different compared to this cocoa tree that's behind the house. To be fair, you can probably see that there are still some tiny rotten pods. And to be honest, this place could use a bit of a clearing as well. But back here in general, there is just a lot more sunlight and airflow that can come through. In general, with like all the pruning, I think I'll probably go ahead and just start easy with stuff like the guava tree and then slowly kind of work my way up to the more difficult stuff. I know I'm going to have to climb some of these trees, and considering my track record for safety, I don't know how that's going to go. I'll probably use the pole saw for most of it so I can avoid as much of that as possible, and then if I really need to, then climb up and use the electric pruning saw. The full-size chainsaw is definitely going to be overkill for this kind of thing. Or at least, I think so. I guess I'm going to need to do some kind of research on the mold issue with the cocoa trees, because I don't know if I'm going to need to like disinfect the trees after I prune them and stuff like that. Any experts watching? Any advice? Let me know in the comments. To be fair, I'm not even 100% sure when I'm actually going to start the process and, you know, start working on the part 2 to this video. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That phrase is always so hard to say. And then you can stay up to date with what's going on. But yeah, it's getting dark and the rain decided it's going to come through now, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So I'll catch you guys on the next one.